Hello, dear friends of A.G.A Trio. As you know, we are organizing a crowdfunding campaign for our second album. It began a month ago and it will continue 2 more weeks. We would like to thank you for all your support, but we need more, and please spread the word and continue to support us. During this campaign, we meet other musicians and talk about the memory of music with them. We did already 2 programs with Ayşenur Kolivar and Sakina Teyna.
And also with Sören and Mane, yeah, you have to also say.
And of course, yes, exactly. And also then the last program was with Sören Birke and Mane Ponkrant from Germany. And as we said, we talk about the memory of music. We have chosen this topic because we are performers of traditional music and the music of the region, of our region, which is Anatolia and South Caucasus, has a very important place in the collective memory of people. So through these artist talks with our guests, we want to discover the relation between memory and music. And today, our guest is Eileen Khatchadourian. Hello, Eileen.
Hello.
Hey.
Hi.
Hi,
Tarif, ինչպես
լավ, դու ինչպես ես։
Love.
Շատ ուրախ ենք քեզ հյուրն գալելու Այլին ջան եւ
Ես
շնորհակալություն
շատ ուրախ
համար։
ներողամիտ գլամ վերջին անգամվա համար մի քանի բզդիկ խնդիրներ ունեի։
Ինչ կա, ուրախ ենք քեզ հյուրն գալելու։ Ինչպես է կյանքը ամեն ինչ նորմալ է։
Ինչպես պիտլա։ Ինչպես որ ամեն մարդ է գարցում։ Ասվիջագին։
So where are you now nowadays? Are you
I'm in
traveling?
Cambodia.
Okay, oh, that's great.
Yeah,
You are
I'm in Phnom Penh.
Place.
Yeah, I live there since almost 3 years now. So I'm stuck
that's
here
cool.
for the moment because we cannot. It's not easy to travel back to Beirut or, yeah.
Yes. Today we will talk about music of diaspora with you, Eileen. But before we begin, to discuss our 2 questions, I would like to first of all, I would like to thank you for joining us.
I thank you.
Thanks for your support, and also I would like to introduce you briefly to our listeners. Eileen Khatchadourian was born in Beirut to an Armenian-Lebanese family. She released her debut album Midan in 2008 and her second album Titernig in 2015. In her music, she combines traditional Armenian songs with electronic sounds and rock rhythms. And in 2015, she was awarded as Best Female Performer of the Armenian Diaspora. So, dear Eileen, would you like to add something? Like, you can also tell us about you, and also maybe you can tell us about your current work or upcoming plans.
Yes, I'm working. Well, I think very soon I will launch my EP, my new EP of 3 songs, which will be part of the 3rd album, hopefully. And it's an EP of it's original songs. It's not anymore. Well, the first album Midan was mostly all traditional songs in rock. The second album Titernig was a mix of old songs and some originals. I even tried to perform in English in Titernig, but I decided to go back to Armenian because this is where I belong. I mean, and so for the 3rd album, it will be original songs in Armenian that I am writing the music. And of course, it's produced by my 2 amazing producers, Sandro Mustida and Francesco Fabris. So soon I will launch the EP for the 3 songs. I have been working on it actually for a while. We did the last recordings in Reykjavik in 2018. And so, yeah, so I will be launching it very soon.
Wow, we are excited. We are looking forward. And
yeah, thank you. Me too.
It's a nice coincidence because we are also planning to record original songs in the second album. Like the first album.
Oh, that's great.
Yes. It's a nice coincidence. So,
Yes.
but as I told, today we would like to talk especially about diaspora. I mean, especially Armenian diaspora in Lebanon and around the world. But we can also like talk about in general. I would like to ask some questions. But before we begin, like maybe you can inform us about the Armenian diaspora in Lebanon. So you know it very well. You come from this community. How big is it? How big is this community? How is its socio-cultural or socio-economic conditions? And how is its relation to Armenia, like the people in Armenian in Lebanon?
Well, as you may know, our Armenians are Christians, and so and you had lots of pilgrims in the beginning coming from historical Armenia, and on the way to go to Holy Land and Jerusalem, they stopped by Lebanon and they stayed there. Mm-hmm. And then there is another vague of immigration of during the Hamidian massacres, actual Turkey in 1895, where there were lots of Armenians who arrived to Lebanon. And then, of course, there was the genocide in 1915, which I am a third generation of survivors. Lots of refugees arrived, lots of Armenians. In the beginning, they were in shanty towns, but very soon they became very successful and prominent. I believe that at that time, until the Lebanese civil war, there were as many as maybe 300 to 400,000 Armenians in Lebanon. We had schools, we had clubs, we had, well, until now we have, of course, but after the civil war, many immigrated, and I'm not sure about the number, but from what I've read and from what I've seen, that that maybe there are only 60 to 70,000 Armenians left in Lebanon nowadays. I think the Lebanese have a very good relation with Armenia. And of course, all Armenians are allowed to have the Armenian citizenship also, which is, I think, fabulous. Mm-hmm. But as you may know, Armenians of Lebanon are called Western Armenians, while the Armenians of Armenia are called Eastern Armenians. We have a slight difference in the Armenian language. Mm-hmm. We understand each other, but of course, we have cultural differences. So Armenians of Lebanon, they have more the Middle Eastern culture in them, you know, mm-hmm. So yeah. And yeah, and of course now the economical situation of the Lebanon is a disaster, so it affects the Armenians of Lebanon also. The government stole all our money, so, and of course the blast of 4th of August made things very, very even harder. So Armenians of Lebanon are struggling as much as Lebanese, Lebanese Arabs. So yeah.
Yeah, I would like to ask you what kind of function has the music with the Armenian diaspora in Lebanon, and are there many musicians, and how is the relation to the musical cultural life in Lebanon in general?
Oh, Lebanon is very rich with musicians, and many of them are from Armenian origin. Armenians of Lebanon are part of the music, a classical music scene, rock scene, pop scene. It is very rare to enter an Armenian's house in Lebanon, and I think even in, anywhere else in the world, especially in Armenia, it's very rare not to find a musical instrument in an Armenian family, and it's the same in Armenian Lebanese families. And Armenians of Lebanon and Lebanese often work together without distinction. For example, the symphonic orchestra of Lebanon is composed from many Armenians. Often the conductor is Armenian. And we especially have many Armenians from Armenia in the symphonic orchestra of Lebanon. Yeah. So they are part of a very rich musical scene.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
I would like to ask you about next question. You are
Yes.
traveling a lot and you have lived in many different countries. How you find it for your music, for your art, what you are doing? How is the influence for you? And especially you have grown up in Lebanon, in the diaspora, and then also in the future. So you took it to different countries. So what is your experience and feelings?
I took some notes as well, to be honest, because I intend to forget everything sometimes, and I intend to tell things that I shouldn't say. Well, I haven't stayed. To be honest, I did not stay in one place very long to be able to judge or to give an honest opinion or to be objective. Except I stayed in Paris for 5 years, but still, I didn't really. I mean, I cannot say any. I cannot say, but I believe that I think there are mainly 3 types of diaspora Armenians in the world. The ones that are sort of stuck in the Armenian culture and heritage, and they don't want to, and they reject the culture of the country they have immigrated. In. The ones who probably never think about their Armenian roots. Sometimes they are even ashamed to speak Armenian, and the only way to know that they are Armenian is probably their name that ends with Yan. And the ones who accept the 2 cultures, both Armenian and host country, and make the best out of it. You know, for some, it's very hard to grow up belonging to a minority because there is a pressure from the host country as well. Especially when you are young and you want to be like everybody, you don't want to stand out, you don't want to have a different language and culture. For example, I used to pretend to be French when Arab Lebanese used to speak with me. I used to pretend to be French and to speak with French. What?
Actually, you look like as French by your private. I was thinking about.
Oh, really? Well, in France, they used to think that I was Jewish. So I used to speak French because I was very ashamed from my Arabic accent, because it used to show that I was not a Lebanese Arab. But then in my 20s, this is where I was in this situation almost until my 19 years old, 20 years old. But then this is where I started to be open to the Armenian culture, and I started to appreciate to have access to both cultures, Armenian and Lebanese. So yeah, I don't know if you want to talk, if you want to talk about the Armenian diaspora music also,
in general,
or it's only about diaspora in general. Huh?
Yes, but not only. I mean, the influence from different cultures and from different countries to your. How was it influenced to your music? What you're doing now? So, do you feel strong influence from each different countries to different years?
You mean about the memories and all these things?
Yes, all this. So, how is it like influencing nowadays for your music? What you do?
Well, listen. Well, music has a very important role to play for the diaspora. It is indeed, how we say, a collective memory. For me, music is language. In my experience, I'm talking about me now. I'm not talking about other artists. My music is me. I am a mixture of Armenian and Lebanese culture. And if people don't like it because I am not enough Armenian, or I am not enough Lebanese, or enough whatever, well, I'm sorry. This is this is me, and this is my culture, and the way, and you know, the way I express it. So there is not much to do about it. And honestly, I do not care. Performing in Armenian for me is feeling home. It's not as feeling home in Armenia or Lebanon. Let's be clear of this, about this. Home for me are my parents. And performing in Armenian makes me feel very close, especially to my father, to my late father, because he was very interested in Armenian language and Armenian etymology and all these things. And of course, so, you know, I sing to my daughter the same songs that my parents used to sing to me, and the same songs that my grandparents, they used to sing. And, you know, so, and also as a Lebanese, I sing to her Arabic songs as well, because this is the country where I was born and where I was raised. So I have in me the two cultures, which are Armenian and Lebanese, and they are both very anchored in me.
Absolutely. So this is the memory of music, what we talk about.
Yes.
Yes.
Great. Thanks for your answer.
Eileen, I would like to go on because it's I mean, you were telling about like 3 groups, and you know, about the yeah, let's say more conservative ones in terms of the protection of the culture,
Yeah.
maybe, and the ones who kind of ignore, or the ones who try to open for both or different backgrounds. And I had a question about the first group, let's say, because there is so interesting examples, I think, like for the people of diaspora, their memories have a crucial meaning. This is clear. We can say the people belonging to a diaspora generally live within a set of social and cultural patterns which does not belong to those in the dominant culture where they live. And these are actually coming from their earlier life, when they are the first generation who immigrated, let's say, or from the memories of their parents or grandparents. So it is like these memories are, for me, it feels like kind of frozen memories, because it is not, it is somehow protected. It's like saved in thoughts and feelings, but they are kind of immigrated. Like they stayed there, and they took those frozen memories with them. And as you mentioned, it's very interesting how the communities, how the people handle with those memories. And there are some examples, like I can say there are some Georgian villages in Turkey. Like my grandparents are also immigrated from Georgia to Turkey, and there are some villages which are like kind of ethnological museums. You know, they just protected almost everything, but especially in terms of language, we see also a special language. You know, this is the old, let's say, old words or old dialects, which also doesn't exist anymore in Georgia, let's say, in this example. So this is for me very very interesting, and I would like to ask you if you have some observations like this, like exactly like similar observations within the Armenian diaspora, first of all. I mean, around the world. And I would like to ask also, you were telling about also the relation to music, but I would like to know, like I was mentioning language especially, and I want to know if you have some observations or knowledge about music in this sense, like kind of protected music or something.
In the diaspora?
Yes, especially because, as I told, like for me it's the language especially, but the music is also similar, I think, in this case.
Well, I don't know if I'm going to answer right your question. It's what you mean if the Armenian language the Armenian music is preserved in the diaspora.
Exactly. I mean, also the culture in general or language, but if you have some thoughts directly related to music, I would like to know it also.
Yes, I mean it's well, I know the diaspora that I know quite well is the Lebanese one, because I lived in this diaspora. I was born in this diaspora. So Lebanese Armenians conserved pretty well our music, We have Armenian radios, we have music stations, we have Armenian radios, and you know the Armenian-Lebanese, they have this. We love to party. We love to do, like Armenians, we say barahantes. So you know, and when you go to an Armenian party, you have this Armenian music which is everywhere. So yes, Armenian culture is quite preserved in Lebanon. I used to think that maybe with the war it went away, but maybe it happened as we mentioned earlier last time. Maybe it had the opposite effect, and so we preserved our culture as much as we can because we had somehow external invaders. So as minorities, and especially Armenians, the ones that I know are the Armenians of Lebanon. Yes, we try to preserve, and we preserved our culture. We have Armenian schools, we have Armenian clubs, we eat Armenian, we have Armenian restaurants. So it's you know, it's very interesting because it was a contradiction with the Armenian language in my family and in many Armenian families that their grandparents were refugees from the genocide. My grandparents, for example, they used to speak Turkish together because they came from Turkey. They wouldn't speak Armenian, and so I know some Turkish words thanks to my grandparents. But even while they were talking Turkish, they preserved their Armenian culture and they preserved their Armenian language. For example, you have as well this kind of society that watch the Turkish series. I don't come from this kind of family. We never watch Turkish series at home. We rarely watch TV anyway. It was more music. So yeah, I hope I replied to your question.
Yes. Yes, this is. I was asking anyway your experience and your observations. So it was more than enough, I would say. But this is also, you know, we are also like our focus is actually to mention or to show the similarities or the common culture in this region between Turkish people, Armenian people, Georgian people, but not only, also Greek and Kurdish people, Arab culture. Like it's such a rich ethnic variety in this region, and we focused on Armenian, Turkish, Georgian music, but and when you were telling, like it's very parallel to our work. Let's say when you are mentioning like your grandparents speaking Turkish, yes, because it is not something they live together. These languages lived also together earlier.
Yes, and evolved together.
Yes, exactly. So today we think because of today's conflicts, or let's say frames, we think or we see languages or cultures very separated, but this is actually not the truth, and we kind of try to show this in our work, and I think you also kind of. So like coming to the end, I would like to ask you also about your work, but again connected to the topic, our topic. Like we were talking about your two albums, which are based on traditional songs.
Yes.
So my last question would be like, can we say that's traditional music, or how do you see it? Like you can also, of course, just personally answer it. Is traditional music has traditional music strict boundaries, and it is not open to the change, because it will be discussed a lot in that way, and I would like to know your opinions about this.
When I launched my first album Midan, I was one of the first Armenian females, Armenian women of the diaspora, if not the only one at that time, to produce all traditional songs in rock version. Rock, at that time it was rock gothic. Midan was more into rock gothic. At that time it was quite avant-gardist. And of course, I got many criticism. Some considered that I completely destroyed our Armenian cultural heritage. And some welcomed these new versions, for example, of Gomidas, where I had many songs of Gomidas in Midan. In a very positive way, they embraced it, they adopted it. And there was an anecdote that happened when I was performing in Istanbul in 2015, the 100th commemoration concert that was organized by Osman Kavala, a friend who is still in prison. Let's not forget about him, who worked a lot into the richness to make this the culture into emerging our cultures together, and he worked a lot on minorities cultures. Exactly. For example, when I was performing my electronic rock version of the very known Armenian prayer Der Vohormia from my album Titernig, it's one of the most Armenian known prayers. The Archbishop Boros Zekian, the Catholic Archbishop, told me after the concert, if I play this song at the church, more young people will come to church. Oh. And for me, this was a very nice compliment coming from an archbishop who knows by heart the Der Vohormia and who is not at all shocked by this version. On the contrary, he loved it. So for me, Gomidas is still alive, of course, and each music has its own place and evolution. Everything inspires for a change in life, especially when you come from an uprooted culture like the Armenian one. So we have to keep our traditions, of course, but it does not mean that we should not renew or evolve. There is place for everything, I think, and every music. I believe that each music has its place at the moment. It is the reflection of that epoch, and you can be inspired by it, repeat it, and this is what I have been doing for the past 12 years. In the beginning, when I produced the album Midan, I was more focusing and thinking about bringing the old songs to a new life for the non-Armenians and for the young generations who don't particularly knew about our old songs. And you know, especially that we have very old recordings of Gomidas songs or our troubadour songs, Sayat Nova and all this, that are very bad recorded for some, not bad recorded for me or for you, for example, which I think they are beautiful pieces, masterpieces. But many young people wouldn't be bothered to listen to this. So that's why when I launched Midan, this was my idea. So the fact that Midan got the award of the best rock album in LA gave me more hope and gave me more wings to continue. And then I did Titernig. And but after Titernig, I to be honest, lately I gave up on traditional songs. It has been done a lot by many artists since, so I'm done for it. I'm done. and I started writing my own music, but always in Armenian. Why? I don't know. I tried to sing in English, in French, but well, I think, as I said, at the end, singing in Armenian for me takes me back, makes me feel closer to my parents, especially to my papa. So yeah.
Yes. Thanks for all these explanations, and keep going. We are very excited about the new EP. So
yeah, and I'm excited about your new album also. I hope you will arrive to your aim and you get what you want, because you really deserve it. And I'm looking forward.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much.
I thank you too.
we of course hope also to meet at a point, maybe in Berlin or somewhere else.
Oh yeah,
You know,
Definitely.
you, Arsen and me actually met at Choice So. I think it was in 2014. This was
In Moscow.
in
Wow.
Moscow. In
Yes,
Moscow, yeah,
exactly.
November 2014.
Yes, exactly.
But
And
we never met in Berlin, unfortunately. I had
No.
2 concerts in Berlin in
Yeah, now it's the
2016
time,
and
maybe.
2018. Yes,
Yes.
now we will meet, hopefully.
Yeah, this is the plan. Great.
Exactly.
Yes,
Yeah.
inshallah.
Yeah.
So if there is no other questions, I would like to conclude actually.
Yeah, please.
And Eileen, thanks a lot. It was very nice to hear your thoughts, your experiences, and as I told, please keep singing and playing as you do. And we are looking
Thank you.
forward for your EP. And our listeners, please also follow Eileen on social media and check the EP when it's out. And also,
Thank you so
please,
much.
yeah, and also please follow us and
Yes.
support us in these last 2 weeks that we reach our goal. We thank you all a lot and hope to see you soon at a concert or again at a online meeting. So have a nice
Yes.
day.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Be
you.
safe
Thank you,
guys
guys.
for all and
Bye
Thank
bye.
you.
Uh,
Bye bye.
bye.